Today, let's go over the difference between Kylo Ren and Darth Vader. Number 1, let's talk about character development. Darth Vader wins. Number 2, let's talk about ability with the lightsaber and the Force. Darth Vader wins. And number 3, let's talk about overall scariness factor of a villain. Darth Vader wins. Okay, guys, we'll talk about the real breakdown coming up. Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. A very well-structured and well-written character. We know right off the bat from A New Hope he is a character to be feared. He will kill rebels with his bare hands, literally, doesn't even need to use the Force. And we know from Obi-Wan that he was a pupil that turned evil and helped the Empire hunt down and kill the Jedi Knights. He was seduced by the dark side. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know why or how he was seduced. We just know he was. Let's compare that to Kylo Ren. Not really the same character. Kylo Ren was also seduced. We don't know really why or how. We don't know who Snoke is to seduce him. But Kylo is not really shown as a figure to be feared or a scary figure. He's conflicted. He doesn't really know he's being pulled to the light side, as he says himself in The Force Awakens. He says, I keep feeling the pull to the light. We know he wants to finish what Vader started. But that leads to another question. What exactly did Vader start? I assume it's galaxy rule. But Vader's reason for wanting to rule the Empire was the rise of the Sith. You know, it was him and the Emperor wanting to bring the Sith back into prominence throughout the galaxy. Snoke is not a Sith, so I don't know why Kylo would want to continue what Vader started, not really having the same, motivating factors. We don't really know what the motivating factors for the First Order or for Snoke are. I just assume it's galaxy-wide rule and power, but why? What's the purpose? What's the reason? Throughout the original trilogy, we find out that Vader, the Emperor and Vader are trying to rule the galaxy. They, in their own version, want peace, but it's under their tyrannical rule. And it's the obsession of finding Skywalker for Vader. He wants to find Luke, finds out it's his son, and wants to then seduce him so they can overthrow the Emperor and take over and rule the galaxy. We don't, it's like they're trying to sort of do the same thing with Kylo and Snoke, but it seems like just a cookie cutter, not even a cookie cutter version, just like a half of a cookie cutter version of the First Order and Kylo Ren, because it's unclear what the motivations are. Is Kylo? It's like he's so conflicted. He kills Han, but then he can't kill Leia, and he wants to finish what Vader started, yet he's trying to kill the past. It's just there's so much conflict there and inconsistency. I would have hoped that in The Last Jedi, Kylo would have gone full evil. Having killed Han, they could have taken him fully evil. I think they should have. I think maybe he could have still have the conflict, or maybe he hates himself for killing Han, his father, but that just drives him even into a darker place. And then you'd really have him set up to be a villain. I think also something they could have done would have been to having his obsession with Vader. He should have been kind of researching the Sith religion on his own. Since Snoke wasn't Sith, they should have had Kylo going after the holocron, the Sith holocrons that Vader had. Maybe he found, seems to have a lot of relics of Vader's. Maybe he could also have some holocrons, teaching himself in the ways of the Sith. And then when you have him overthrow Snoke, you could have had him, maybe with the Sith eyes, or go into like a Sith rage, and maybe somehow that's how he overtook Snoke. And then you really establish him as like, okay, this guy is like, he's really becoming the main villain. He's now more in line, following his grandfather's footsteps. I think that would have been a much more interesting, place to take the story. And then you also have like the Empire and the First Order. There's such the First Order also seems like a half of a cookie cutter version of the Empire. It seems like what's the motivation for them? They're just trying to rule for the sake of ruling. We know, especially with the prequels, what Palpatine was trying to do. He was trying to rise the Sith to prominence again, and then he was trying to overtake the galaxy and create, his version of peace, but it was under his own rule. We don't know, what the point of him wanting to take over the galaxy is. Like, just ultimate power, I guess. It seems pretty generic. Maybe in books and comics to come, we'll find out more about why he did that and how he seduced Kylo. But it doesn't seem like the First Order is as established. They seem like they were a small little fanatical group in Force Awakens, and they had this technology. They had money from Snoke, and they created this planetary, Star Killer base, which is like a Death Star, bigger Death Star. And once that was destroyed, they should have been in disarray. They should have been needing outside help, outside assistance. Last Jedi opens up, which is technically a few days later from A Force Awakens, and they rule the galaxy. First Order rules. How? They just got their planetary killer, or their planet killer destroyed. They should be in such chaos. I think it might have been a much better story to have them need outside help. Maybe they have to go to the Hutts to assist them. Maybe they need to do something like the Shadows of the Empire book did with the Black Sun. Maybe they need to outsource some of their rebuilding. It would have added a much better dynamic. You could have entered a different villain to help, with since Snoke was killed off, you could have a different kind of villain, maybe a criminal villain. It would have been something different and not just a rehashing of the Empire. Everything sort of seems like a rehashing, but it's not as well structured. So I don't know. That's just a few of the differences between Vader and Kylo Ren. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below between the two. Do you like Kylo Ren's character? Do you think that they're taking him in an interesting direction, or do you wish he kind of would have just gone full Sith? Let me know. And also, if you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more content. And until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.